Manchester United have just beaten Aston Villa 2-1. What a result that is. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. Yeah, honestly, I could not be happy with that result. Hope everyone has enjoyed it as much as I have. If you are new, please do subscribe. Also, smash a like on today's video, and let's get straight on into the match reaction. So, Rasmus Hojlund, again, coming up with a goal. I think that's 5 goals in 5 games for Rasmus Hojlund now. Unbelievable. He's finally, I don't want to say finally, actually. That makes out that I'm unhappy with him, but he's getting service now. He's getting a little bit of luck. And he's showing how much of a good player he is. You know, there was never any doubt that Rasmus Hojlund was a good player. We all knew he was. We all knew he had heaps of potential. We all knew he could go on to be a world-class player. But when you're playing in a side with Marcus Rashford and Garnacho who don't want to pass the ball, you're never going to score any goals. But something seems to have changed. Something seems to have clicked over the last kind of 5 or 6 games. And, you know, Rashford's looking for passes. Garnacho's looking for passes. They're not being as selfish as they were before. And you know what? We're starting to win games. It's not just a coincidence. But yeah, that's I think it's 4 goals in the Premier League now for Rasmus Hojlund. 10 goals in all competitions. I mean, I'm happy with that so far, you know, for his first season. I think at the beginning of the year, I said 15 goals across all competitions would be a success for Rasmus. And the rate he's going, you know, with 14 games left in the Premier League, hopefully some more games in the FA Cup, like he could easily get to 20 goals, I reckon. And that's not even, you know, hyping him up. I think he genuinely could get to 15, 20 goals quite easily. So big ups to Rasmus Hojlund on that one. After the first goal went in, I'll be honest, it was quite a defensive performance, but, you know, we have to give credit to Aston Villa. They're not 5th in the table for no reason. You know, they've been unbelievable this season. Aston Villa have been one of the best teams in the UK, and that's without a shadow of a doubt. They've been absolutely incredible. If you flash back like maybe a month or so ago, they were genuinely, people were saying, oh, maybe they'll win the title. Maybe that was a little bit premature, but they were right up there in the race. Now, obviously, their run of form has kind of dropped a little bit over the last couple of weeks. I know they lost to Newcastle recently, and I think they lost to Nottingham Forest in the League Cup or the FA Cup. But still, like, you can't take that away from us. And do you know what the crazy thing is as well, right? That was the first time Erik ten Hag has beaten a top 9 team away from home. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a crazy stat. So in the 18 months that Erik ten Hag's been here, he's never, until today, beaten a team away from home who are in the top 9. Top 9 as well. So that would have been teams like Brighton, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and today was the first time. So you have to give credit where credit's due, you know? And it's just really nice that kind of, you know, that almost curse of playing away from home against a difficult side is kind of gone, because it was getting quite worrying, wasn't it? When you see those stats come up and it's like, we've played teams in the top 9 14 times away from home and we've never beat them. But today we have changed that. By way of the table, we're now only 5 points behind Aston Villa, which is crazy. You know, this time last week we were sat 10th, and I was sat on this channel saying, if we lost to Wolves, I think it was 10 days ago, if we lose to Wolves today, we'll be 11th, you know? And we've gone from there to 6th. And I know people don't want Europa. I know people would say that's been a failure of a season. But even if you look at it like that, right? Even if you say, okay, we're not going to get Champions League, I would be okay with Europa. We need to have some European competition. Conference League would be a joke. But Europa, it still is European football, you know? And I think that Manchester United, being the club that we are, need European football. And to not have any European football at all is unacceptable, in my opinion. And the reason I'm saying this is, we have created a bit of a cushion now ahead of both Newcastle and West Ham. So we're obviously in 6th with 41 points now. Newcastle have 36 and West Ham have 36 as well. So even if you guys are like, oh, I don't want Europa, I'm in the camp where obviously I want top 4. You know, I'm hopeful that we can maybe catch up with Aston Villa, and I'm hopeful that 5th place will get us Champions League football this season. And the thing we have to remember, right, which is a really, really important fact here, is Aston Villa play Tottenham soon. 10th of March, Aston Villa play Tottenham. So if we can, you know, keep winning games for the next month or so, Aston Villa then play Tottenham. One of them is going to drop points, and then that could be our opportunity to pounce. Now, if we look at the games we have coming up, like in the immediate future, just to see, you know, what's realistic in the next kind of 2 to 3 weeks, because obviously that's very, very important. I think we play Luton Town away from home next. Even though it's Luton, that's going to be a difficult match. Like, that's going to be their biggest game of the season. You know, they're playing Manchester United. Of course, that's going to be a big game for them. But I'm confident we can beat Luton. And then I think after that, we play... I'm just going to get the fixtures up quickly. Everyone smash a like on the video if you haven't already, and let me know what your thoughts are on today's game. So yeah, we play Luton Town a week today, away from home. That's obviously a must-win game. And then we play Fulham at home. So for me, that's 6 points, okay? Aston Villa play Fulham away. You never know. I think Aston Villa's away form is quite poor. Then they play Nottingham Forest at home. I mean, you'd imagine they'll beat Nottingham Forest at home. Then they play Luton away. That could go either way. And then they've got the Tottenham game. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if we just focus on ourselves and we get 6 points out of the next 2 games, and maybe Aston Villa drop a couple of points and then they lose points against Tottenham, we're in that 5th place. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this evening. We've got some people saying they're fed up with Erik ten Hag. I mean, really? Are you really coming on here after we've just beaten Aston Villa, one of the best teams in the UK at the moment, saying that you're fed up with Erik ten Hag? Like, I think that the way we played today was how we had to play. You know, we had to play defensive. We had to park the bus once we got the goal, because it was such a big game for us that if we went all out attack and then, you know, conceded goals, then, you know, we if we'd have lost today, we would have not got 5th or 4th. I think it would have been impossible. We'd have been 11 points behind. And 11 points is a crazy amount. It really, really is. When you think there's only 14 games left of the season, right? There's only, 42 points left to play for. If we'd have lost today, we'd have been 11 points behind. So we wouldn't have got, you know, 4th or 5th. So it's a massive result today, and I can't emphasize how happy I am with the result. Yes, the performance wasn't, you know, the most amazing game I've ever seen, but does it really matter at the end of the day? Like, that's 3 wins on the bounce in the Premier League. We haven't lost a game, I think, since Nottingham Forest, which was it on Christmas Eve? I think it was on the 30th of December. That was the last time we lost a game. We beat Wigan, we drew with Tottenham, we beat Newport, we beat Wolves, we beat West Ham, and now we've just beat Aston Villa. I mean, we haven't lost a game I know people will say, why are you celebrating this? But you've got to understand your level of where we are at the moment. We haven't lost a game for 7 or 8 games now. Which I think for us is progress. And I know people will say, oh, it's embarrassing that we're celebrating that. But, you know, that is still progress for Manchester United. It is. I mean, if you even go back to that, we've only lost 1 game in the last, I think, 10 matches, and that was against Nottingham Forest. So it's positive. It is. When you look before that, right? If you look at the results before that, we lost to Bayern Munich. The week later, we lost to West Ham. The week before that, we lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. The week before that, we lost to Newcastle. Like, we were literally losing a game every week until about a month ago. So I'm really, really happy with it. There's a couple of people in the chat saying Ten Hag in. Yeah, I mean, nothing changes for me, to be honest. Like, I definitely want Ten Hag to stay. I definitely think he's the right man for the job. And I think the fact that, you know, now that we've got Casemiro back, we've got a couple of those first team players back, I think it shows how much of a poor side we had when we were losing all of these games. You know, it was McTominay and Eriksen, I think, in midfield, and Johnny Evans at centre-back, and, like, it's not good enough. I think Maguire was good today. I think Maguire had a good game. Dalot had a good game. Obviously, it's a massive loss that Luke Shaw's gone off injured. I think, you know what, guys? I think we need to have some serious conversations about Luke Shaw. I think he's a good left-back on his day, but I think Luke Shaw is injury-prone, and I don't think that's, you know, some controversial opinion. I think it's, you know, a pretty easy statement to make, you know. He's been out this season already for 16 games, just in this season alone, and now he's just got injured again. He only just come back from injury, and now he's just got injured again. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? He gets injured a lot. We just have to hope that it's not a bad one. And the only thing that's kind of negative from today's game is obviously we lost Luke Shaw. Malacia is still injured, and we don't now have a left-back. Obviously, we got rid of Alvaro Fernandez. Brandon Williams is out on loan at Ipswich. Who else did we have at left back? Obviously, Reguilon went to Brentford. So we're in a bit of a difficult situation now. If Luke Shaw is going to be injured for, you know, however amount of time, and we don't have a left back, like, that is definitely a problem. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to wrap the video up here. Obviously, massive win for Manchester United. I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. for your normal show. We can talk more about the game tomorrow, of course. It's just a quick reaction game. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do make sure to smash a like before you go. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll speak to you all later.